Hi everyone, welcome back to the Shan Packer. Let's get packing. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some TSA hacks or just things you should know if you're a first-time traveler, or well, just generally some things that also just irritate me when I get to security in the airport. And how to avoid that, because I can promise you now, I'm not the only person who feels this way standing in that queue. Just saying. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on all social media so that we can like travel the world together and shit. For those of you who have never traveled before or are traveling for the first time, or who have traveled at least once, I don't know where you are in your travel journey in your life. Essentially, when you get to the airport, you get your ticket and you check in, you choose your seats and whatever, and the next step after that is TSA, airport security, or whatever you want to call it, but it's essentially where they check your hand luggage, they do a body search, that type of thing, and then the next step after that would be passport control. So I'm talking about that section in your travel journey, is the security section. They do this at every airport. They do this for connecting flights. They do this when you get on the flight. They don't do it when you get off the flight, obviously, because that's a bit redundant. But there are lots of security checks that go through airports when you go through the airport. So that is the part that I'm going to be talking about today. The very first item on my list: get there early. Get there within enough time so that you can get yourself checked in, go through security, because sometimes it's a half an hour stint, sometimes it's more than an hour. It all just depends on security, the people that are ahead of you and the people who are checking you. You never know what problem you're going to face when you get to security, and you don't know what the people around you are going through. So just make sure you get there with enough time that you can check in, go through security, and allow yourself time to do like shopping in the mall, because airports have like a type of mall where they have like restaurants and shops and all these things, and that you still have enough time to find your gate and sit at your gate. So the best rule of thumb when it comes to allowing yourself enough time is, for an international flight, if you are leaving the country that is an international flight, allow yourself about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more. It all just depends on you, the person, but we like to get there 3 hours before the time. And if you are doing a local flight, not leaving the country, then up to an hour and a half, maybe 2. It's not that serious because it is a local flight. But again, you never know. You yourself know who you are. So that would be my first tip, just to make sure that you get there with enough time, because sometimes an airport is really big and you have to catch a train in the airport, and that doesn't leave a lot of time if you get there with just enough time to spare. You know what I'm saying? So let's avoid that. The second thing that you need to remember is to have your documents ready. You know what you need when you get to the airport, which is your passport. Some countries are still asking for a vaccine certificate, your visa, which should be in your passport already, so your passport, like, you know what documents they need, and you know, because you should have done your research already, what documents are required for whatever country you're going to. For us, because it will always be business travel unless it's a holiday that Trav and I are going on, for us it's always business travel. So we have letters from the company, we have proof of accommodation, like just extra bits and pieces, so that if we do get asked questions, or if for whatever reason they want to see something, we have the document on hand and we can pull it out. Now, us living in an electronic era, I always, and I know it sounds ridiculous, this is probably ingrained anxiety from my mother, but we always carry a hard copy on hand as well as an electronic copy, because for whatever reason, load shedding, your phone didn't charge enough, your power bank is dead, just the worst case scenario, you have a hard copy on you and you'll be allowed to go through passport control or security or wherever you are on your stage of travel. Just make sure you have the documents ready. That means in your hand, not in your bag, not in your backpack, not with your husband, not with your friend, not with your dog, not with your fish. Your documents are out of your hand luggage or your carry-on, and they are in your hand be it in a folder, a manila file. I don't care how you carry your documents, just make sure that it is in your hand, okay? Because if I am behind another person where they're digging through their hand luggage to try and find their documents, I'm gonna lose my mind, okay? Do not be that person that pisses me off in the airport. If you are carrying an electronic version of everything, make a folder on your phone. I have a folder on my phone on my home screen with all the documents I need in their electronic version, down to copies of my IDs, drivers, my passport photo, my visa. Everything that I need is in that folder on the main screen, so that I can unlock my phone, open that folder and go, what do you need? Here. There it is. Next thing on the list is what you are wearing. I know that's not important, but totally what you wear can make or break the person behind you. And I'm not saying like, oh, you should be wearing name brands and, you know, you're traveling to a wintrous country right now, you should be wearing thick jackets. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what can you get undressed and redressed in 5 seconds. That is right, 5 seconds. Okay, so if you're a first-time traveler, oh my gosh, yes, being comfortable is important. Yes, if you are that kind of person who needs to look good on the plane, by all means, girl, wear your Gucci. If you feel good in an evening dress, by all means, wear your evening dress. What I'm saying is what you're wearing is important in terms of taking it off and putting it back on. It is extremely important, because let me tell you something, not all airports do this, but some airports will ask you to do this, and that is to remove your shoes. Sometimes your socks, I haven't been there yet, but definitely your shoes. You're gonna have to take off your jacket if you're wearing a jacket. If you're wearing a scarf, your scarf has to come off. If you're wearing a hat, your hat needs to come off. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Okay, so word of advice, don't overdress for the occasion. Dress comfortably, yes, but make sure that the items you are wearing can be taken off and put on in 5 seconds. That is right, 5 seconds. Sounds like not a lot of time, but trust me, when you are standing in that queue, 5 seconds is 5 years. Some examples, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so my typical airport outfit is socks, pluckies, fist pluckies, flops, whatever you want to call them, sweatpants, a t-shirt. I normally wear my thick coat, because if I had to put that in my bag it would be really heavy, so that is the only extra item I wear. But I do not wear scarves, I do not wear hats, I do not wear beanies, I don't wear like a lot of items that need to come off. That is my general airport outfit. I am comfortable, I am warm, I am cool when I'm going to a warm country, and I can kick my pluckies off and put them on in no time. I do not wear pants where I need to wear a belt, because they ask you to take your belt off. I do not wear clothes that require me that have pockets, because if it has pockets, you're gonna have to empty out your pockets, and Lord forbid you forget that tiny little wrapper of a sweet or a chewing gum wrapper or a tiny little piece of paper that is sitting in your pocket. You're gonna be asked to take that out, and you have to keep going in and out of that bloody x-ray machine. For the love of TSA, please do not wear pants that require pockets, and if you absolutely must, check your pockets before you leave the house. It will save us all a lot of time. Okay, so shoes. This is not the time. This is not the time to wear those fancy lace-up Converse sneakers that you got for Christmas. Okay, why? Because you have to unlace them, kick them off, and then lace them back on. That takes you more than a minute. No. This is not the time to wear strappy heels. I know some women love to travel in heels, and you know what? Good for you. I wish I were you, but actually, no, I don't. This is not the time to wear strappy heels, because you're going to have to unstrap them and kick them off and then strap them back in. No, more than a minute. Absolutely not. This is not the time to wear your big clunky leather buckle boots. No, because you're going to have to unbuckle everything and unzip and no, it takes more than a minute. Absolutely not. The best shoes to wear, sneakers that you can slide your foot in and out of, where you don't have to lace them. Cool, that's okay. Sandals, great. Loafers, aces. Slippers, nice. Pants, Yes, I know you want to look comfortable, but remember, check your pockets. Absolutely nothing must be in your pockets. And if you have something in your pockets as you're approaching the queue, take them out while you are standing in the queue and hold them in your hand so that when you approach the queue, you can just dump everything and you're not sitting there pulling everything out, because why? That takes an extra 5 seconds and you are holding up the queue. Okay? No. If you can avoid wearing a belt in your pants, please do so, because they ask you to take that off. Yes, it's easy to put on and take off and all that, but just, do we really need to go through that? No. Okay. Great. Hoodies. No. Yes, they're easy to take off and put back on, but you cannot go through security with a hoodie. They're going to ask you to take it off. Take that off in the queue. You are standing in the queue, doing nothing, watching everyone. And let me tell you something what's really annoying. I feel sorry for the agents there, is that they are having to constantly repeat themselves. And, you know, if it's your first time, I understand, but this is why I'm helping you. Big Sister Shan here to help you out. But if you are standing in the queue, that is your time to prepare yourself, to take off what you need to take off, take out what you need to take out, put away what you need to put away. Like, I use my time in security to prepare myself to get out of that line. Not to get in, not to get out of that line. Because the last thing I want to do is stand in the queue, because it is tumultuous time in my life is standing in the queue. It's stressful enough. I do not need to give myself more flight anxiety. Okay, so while you're standing in the queue, take off your jacket, take off your hoodie, take off your scarf, take off your hat, take off your beanie. Anything that is covering your body, that is not a t-shirt and a pair of pants or shorts or skirt or whatever the hell you're wearing, take it off. Take it off. It will do the world the greatest of justice if you can just be prepared by the time you get there. Okay, thanks. Okay, moving on to the next point. This may sound really obvious and it may sound stupid, but let me tell you something. It is the pivotal moment between getting out of security fast enough to being called back. And I know that made no sense, but I'm just going to walk you through this point. Pack your hand luggage in a neat, organized, uncluttered manner. I will tell you why. Example, and I know this could just be Manchester Airport. I'm checking you out, Manchester. You're a pain in my ass. But anyway, I am very organized. I am A-type. I'm a Virgo. You know, that should be enough information for the entirety of my audience. My hand luggage is packed down to the finest art ever. I have packing cubes. I know exactly what is in my bag. I make lists. You know the videos here on my channel. You know what I'm like. So I never get pulled out of the line to have my stuff searched, because when it goes through the x-ray, you can see exactly what is in my bag. Okay, now, my husband. The exact same type of person as me. He's also organized. He also knows what's in his bag. It is packed in a somewhat okay manner, but because he is a musician and some of his cables and stuff don't fit in his guitar case or drum bag or whatever it is, his bag can tend to look cluttered and a little messy, so that when it does go through the x-ray, he gets pulled out and it's like, what's going on? And then he has to unpack the entire bag to have it searched and checked and swabbed and whatever, and that just takes up a lot of time. Okay, now that is not his fault, it's just the way his bag is packed, but you can be that person who packs your hand luggage correctly so that we don't have that situation, because, you know, it doesn't affect us in the queue, but it affects you on your time. So I'm just here to help you, because essentially when you get pulled out of that queue, you get taken to a whole other area, into a whole other queue, and then it doesn't affect me standing in the queue, but it affects you and your time. And if you are on a very short connection duration, where like you only have an hour to get off one plane and onto the other, every single second is precious, and you cannot be wasting it because your hand luggage is just an absolute disaster. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the bag you've chosen. It has nothing to do with the stuff that's in your bag, but it has everything to do with how you have packed that bag. So, simple solution, I do honestly recommend packing cubes. And even if you're not packing a lot in your hand luggage, smaller packing bags are very helpful. So like, for example, in my hand luggage, I don't always carry clothes, obviously, like I'll carry my jacket, but my wallet obviously is organized because, you know, it has card slots, so that's obvious. If I have a makeup bag, everything is in the makeup bag and it is clear. I cannot express to you enough how important clear see-through bags are. If you have to buy and invest in bags, do it. If not, the Ziploc bags are good enough. They just need to be able to see what is in those bags and what is in your bag. So clear bags are an absolute must. Just BT dubs, okay? And then have everything organized. So like, I carry my like miscellaneous bag, which is like a touch-up powder, tissues, mints, you know, the stupid little things, you know, in one bag. Okay, if I am taking toiletries and I am using my hand luggage as a carry-on, my clothes are in a packing cube, my underwear is in a packing cube separate, my toiletries are in a clear toiletry bag, you know, like everything is just organized. Okay, so do the same thing for you. It will save you time getting through security, and if they had to open your bag, they can be like, huh, okay, you know what, we can see what's going on here, you can carry on, kind of thing. Okay, so it's super important to make sure that your bag is well packed, it's organized, and it's not cluttered, and you don't have like too many things going on, and nothing is loose. Like I said, those little packing bags or little cosmetic bags or Ziploc bags will just make things so much easier. I swear, trust me, I'm a professional. Okay, next thing on the list is, I'm gonna say, probably the bane of my existence, even though the whole security process is the bane of my existence. But let's talk about it. Laptops and iPads, tablets, electronics, all of it. All of it has to come out, okay? Some places are not particular about iPads and Kindles, but every single airport is very particular about laptops. They have to come out. They have to come out of their bags. Sometimes some airports will let you keep it if it has a sleeve, like a laptop sleeve or an iPad sleeve. That's not an issue. Sometimes they let you through, but if it's in a laptop bag, case, backpack, it has to come out, and it because it needs to be checked. So if you have a laptop, an iPad, a Kindle, any type of electronic, girl, just take it out. Even if it's your phone. Sometimes they're not perturbed about a phone, but just take it all out. Take it all out. Again, while you're standing in your queue, prepare yourself to leave security. Not to get to security, to leave that security queue. Take it out. While you're standing in the queue, take out your laptop, take out your iPad, take out your Kindle, your radio transmitter, your phone. Take it all out. Stack it on top of each other, and they will separate it if they need to. If you ever have any doubt in your mind about an electronic item that looks like a laptop, a tablet, an iPad, your cell phone, just take it out. Rather, save yourself the issue of having to stand in a queue, digging around in your bag for stuff when you can just take it out. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is liquids, because this also just irritates me when it comes to security. It's taken me a while, I'm not gonna lie, to figure this one out, but now that I have, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I did my research, I did thorough, extensive sort of research, but I know this one. Okay, so maybe you are traveling with a carry-on instead of a check-in bag, and you have liquids on you, which by all means is fine. You're not allowed to take liquids with you. It's just how you package them and what you're bringing that matters. Obviously check, because like chlorine is not allowed, obviously. I'm referring to the liquids that fall in the category of toiletries and snacks and things. Okay, the hazardous stuff, don't look at me for that. I'm not going to give you advice on that, because I actually don't know that. ignorance is rather bliss in this situation. I'm only talking about makeup items, toiletries, snacks, that type of thing. Okay, cool. So water bottles, nope, unless it's empty. Cool. If you have water on you, finish it. You are not allowed water through security. I don't care how much you have or how little you have, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. There's dustbins as you walk into security for you to throw away your water bottles. Just get rid of it. This is like the laptop situation. What if? Nope, just get rid of it. No water. Okay, so the general rule that they allow for your liquids and things is that it cannot exceed 100 milliliters if you are those people, and I think it's 3.4 fluid ounces if you are the other people. I don't know what the imperial metric system is. I don't know which one is which. Call me dumb, that's okay. I am. So yeah, so it's 100 mils you cannot exceed, and 3.4 fluid ounces you cannot exceed that. Now, if you are carrying a bottle that reads 200 mils, but you know for a fact that you have 100 mils in there, it's not gonna fly. You're gonna have to get rid of it. Unfortunately, it has to be less than 100 mils, and it has to state that it's less than 100 mils. So you cannot bring a 1 liter bottle with like that much in. They're still gonna chuck it. It's not allowed. Don't question me. I don't understand it either, but it is just the way it is, you know? Like, why is the sky blue? It's just the way things are. Okay, cool. Then there's a thing called the 3-to-1-to-1 rule. Okay, and basically this took me a while to figure out as well. I don't know why, because it's so simple to understand, but you know, some people, you know, are writers and just explain things stupidly. But the 3-to-1-to-1 rule basically states that all your liquids that you are carrying in your hand luggage need to be able to fit in a 3/4 plastic bag. Has to be less than 100 mils, that's the one, and 1 bag per passenger, that's the other one. So you need to have preferably a Ziploc bag. They do provide these at some airports if you don't have one, but they do provide it, but it's apparently a 3-quart bag. Basically, if you ask me, it's a medium-sized Ziploc bag. Okay, all your items in there need to be less than 100 mils, and you're only allowed one of these Ziploc bags per passenger. So like, I can't, if I have too many things, I cannot use multiple bags to carry my stuff in. I'd need to like make sure everything fits in one bag, and if it doesn't, I have to either give stuff up or ask Trap very, very nicely to carry my things for me, which he has done in the past. It's not fun. Then the thing that caught my attention, or the thing that got to me, was, but how many items or pieces of liquid things are we allowed to bring in our hand luggage? And some sources don't specify, but I have a keen sense of detail and noticed that in my airport, which is the OR Tambo airport, as you are checking in your flight, like as you walk in, they have a sign behind them that says anything up to a liter. So all the items in your bag need to be either a liter or less, which is 1,000 mils. So if you have 10 items of liquid and they're all rounded off 100 milliliters each, that is your limit. It has to be a liter. But because we were booking with a Delta airline, which is an American airline, when we got to their security in our airport, and when they were checking our bags, they said, does it exceed 600 mils? Which means 6 pieces of liquid. So it varies. So I think, in my personal opinion, if you are ever confused, don't take liquid at all. Just don't take liquid at all if you can help it. If not, make sure you have about 500 mils worth of stuff on the plane, or stuff that will last you, and just make sure that it's 100 mils each. Now, does this include shampoo? It absolutely does. Does your toothpaste apply? It absolutely does. If you do not put these items in the Ziploc bag and push it through security, they are going to pull your ass out of that line, give you a stern talking to, and probably confiscate your stuff, which is not essential and not something you want, because, you know, like, it's your stuff. You feel violated, I understand. So my 3 tips: either just don't travel with liquids at all if you can help it, like, just don't do it. If you absolutely have to travel with liquids, be sure that it's less than 100 mils, that it's in a plastic bag, and that it does not exceed 500 mils in general if you can help it. Or, and the most easiest hack of all, is just buy all your usual products in travel sizes. If you go to Clicks, Dischem, these are just places near me, Boots if you're in UK, Walmart if you're in America, like, there are so many places you can go to, like drugstores. They will almost always have an aisle or an end cap or something where they sell travel sizes of things like shampoos, mouthwash, toothpaste, toothbrushes. Even they even sell little kits that have like the toothpaste, the toothbrush, a soap, like that type of thing already in a plastic bag for you. So yeah, you can totally do that. Or number 4, I just thought of this, a really good 4th example I can give you is to try, if you can, is to try and convert your liquid into a solid. What does that mean? So if you are an avid shower gel or liquid body wash user like I am, try switching it out to a solid soap, like a soap bar. You are allowed that on the plane. It doesn't have to, you know, confine to a certain millage, because it's not a liquid or a cream or a gel or an aerosol. So you can do that. Again, just also BT dubs, gels, aerosols, that type of thing. Also, no, I don't even take an aerosol on the plane at all unless it's in my checked in luggage. I do not mess around with aerosols in hand luggage. No, I absolutely do not. It's just, I'm too scared. So yeah, that's also just another thing you need to remember. But if you are bringing shampoo, they do make soap bars now for hair, like a shampoo bar. Like, just think about all the things that you can switch up from a liquid to a solid. There's a lot of solid items out there now that are like doable, you know what I'm saying? Have that in your hand when you get to security. When you need to pick up your bin to put all your stuff in, that, all your items of clothing and your laptop need to be in your hand. Do not waste my time digging in your bag for it. It needs to be in your hand, because they are going to definitely ask you for that. So make sure it's in your hand. Just, let's keep it easy, friends. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the line moving. Okay, is what goes into a bin and what does not go into a bin. Okay, so let's say it's now your turn to step up to get yourself a bin. You've got your clothes, you've got your laptop, you've got your liquids, you've got your documents, you've got everything in your hands now that you've needed to take off. What goes where? Now, if you have a bag, a hand luggage, obviously, that does not need a bin. That, unless it's a handbag. I'm talking like a tote bag, a kit bag, your wheelie hand luggage, a shoulder bag, a backpack. Anything that's bigger than a handbag or a clutch bag does not need to be put into a bin. It can just be put onto the conveyor belt and go through. Your clothing items need to go into a bin. So your shoes, your belt, your jersey, your jacket, your beanie, your hat, your sunglasses, your Ellis band, your scarf, your beret, your pashmina, whatever the hell is on your body that you've had to now take off, gets its own bin. Put your shoes in, fold or roll up your jacket, put it in, like, just organize it for them so that when it goes through the x-ray, it's easy to see what's going on. Okay, cool. They will always give you a small bucket for your phone and your wallet, your watch, your rings, that type of thing. They will give you a smaller bucket that you can put all of that in, and then that will go through the conveyor belt. And then your liquids can be put in with your clothes. I think that shouldn't be an issue, but your laptop has to get its own bin. Yep, that's right. So if you're the kind of person who has, you know, got to take up like 4 or 5 bins, maybe you should reconsider your life. because no person should need to have 4 or 5 bins. I take up personally 2 bins at the airport, because I have my bag that goes through by itself, take my jacket and shoes off, and then like my laptop will go in one. There, easy. 2 bins, not a lot, okay? But some people are out here taking up 4, 5, 6 bins, and I'm like, my love. The reason why I say it's annoying is because now you've gone through security, you've followed my video, you've done all the right things, you didn't get pulled out, your bag is organized, you have your things in your bins. It's now the other side of the queue, because now once this queue starts moving through the x-ray and you get body searched, it's now another queue that starts for you to collect your things. Okay, that's an issue. It's the other side. It's like I said, you always prepare yourself in the queue to get out of security, not to get into security. It's the queue on the other side. That queue is messier than the queue you stood in to pass security. Okay, you need to be able to grab your stuff, stack your bins, and go. But I cannot do that if I am a 2-bin person stuck behind a 7-bin person, because now here I am standing watching you pack up your 7 million bins, and I only have 2, and I have to wait for you to clear the conveyor belt for me to get my things. You are taking precious time off of my travel journey. Don't like it. Keep yourself to at least 2 bins if you can absolutely help it. If not, maybe 3, but then you are going to have to stand behind me. Thanks. Sorry about it. But anyway, so yeah, just think on the other side, like there are so many people who need to collect their things, and if I'm standing behind a 5 to 7 bin person, we are not going to have a good time. Is when you are standing in the queue or coming up to security, they have quite a few conveyor belts, and if you do not personally get sorted into queues by the TSA agent or security guard or anything like that, my best advice to give to you is to always branch off into the left hand conveyor belts. If you have to sort yourself out into queues yourself, always go for the left conveyor belts. I'll tell you why. Most of the population, I'm speaking like 70% plus, are right hand dominant. And anytime a right-handed person needs to go somewhere, they're going to pick their dominant side, which is their right. So they're instantly just going to follow the herd and go into the right hand lane and go into the right hand conveyor belts. But you are smarter because you watched this video. Go into the left conveyor belts. I'll tell you why. Because all the dumbasses that are going into the right don't go into the left. So the left hand conveyor belts are the faster queues to go through. Just a general tip for you is I like to scan 10 plus people in front of me and watch where they go. And when I mean like watch them, a business person or someone who is dressed for business, I'm talking a suit and a laptop bag only, that person is going to go through security a lot faster than the mom who's standing in front of me with 4 children, her husband, and 2 prams and a baby bag. So I am not going to stand behind her in the conveyor belt queue. I'm going to go and follow the businessman because I know he's going to take 2 minutes to go through where she's going to probably take 10,000 years. So that's generally just something I like to mindfully do. I kind of like just watch people. I see what they're carrying, I see who they are, and I'm like, okay, you're probably going to be about a 2-second security search where you are just in my way, so I am not going to follow you wherever you go. Sometimes you can't always help it because you get the TSA guards and the people who sort you through, so that's not really your fault. But if you can help it and if you can control which security line you go through, I highly recommend following people who aren't carrying much and who you know will be a 2-second search. So yeah, because just like, remember, again, let's go back to our examples. The businessman, he is essentially one passenger. He's going to check himself in, check himself out, and go through to the gate. Where with the mom with 4 kids, 2 strollers, and a husband, she is taking up enough time for about 8 passengers. Okay, you do not want to be stuck being searched behind 8 passengers when essentially you only technically have 4 in front of you. It doubles your time, lessen your time by going through the security searches with the people who are not carrying much, or who don't have big bags, or who look to be pretty well organized. So I would always suggest standing behind me, because I don't take long in security, because I don't pack a lot. I pack the essentials, I am well prepared, well rehearsed, and I will get in and out of security in 2 minutes for whatever reason. Cool. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I think I tackled everything regarding TSA security. Let me know if I have forgotten something or if something's inaccurate. I did do my research though. Also, I'm a professional traveler. I have been through enough security to know what's going on. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And follow me on social media. Also, I have some fun things going on there. And I will see you in my next video.